it almost every single round of Cafe. I'll be very surprised to see it go through. Both teams operate. There it is. First rotation, bang, off the board. Ying is no longer going to be played. And it makes good sense because for every single bomb site, just like Cafe, you can bring out the Ying and have tremendous value. The Flores, same story, especially that basement attack, the red terror drones, clearing out shields, utility, key player positions. It makes life a little bit easier. Wamai.
Wow, how long has it been since we've seen a Wamai ban?
It's been a bit. I'm not gonna lie to you. So both teams are making both the attack and the defense weaker, specifically around that basement bomb site. The Valkyrie, of course, the information, that can be hard to deal with. You don't have space for an IQ on the operator lineup on Oregon very typically because you want that utility, the nades, smokes, extra flashbangs. An IQ just locks away one operator. You want flexibility here.
We talk a lot about how Ying gets banned on Oregon, often as a target ban, and I have no doubt that it does. I mean, you see these teams love the Ying. Look at Cafe, how often she was brought.
So often.
And while there is a hard counter in the game for Ying, which is Warden, and you will see probably a fair bit of Warden play moving forward, getting rid of Ying solves that problem. You don't need to pick him all the time. Same as banning Valkyrie means you don't need to pick the IQ, as you noted.
Yeah.
But it's not even just a target ban. Ying brings that secondary hard breach gadget, which on Oregon, if there's a Kaid ban, has an extensive amount of value. That secondary hard breach gadget will go on the hatch in security and then the hatch inside a meeting, and will guarantee that both those hatches will get opened up if Kaid is banned out. Upstairs, you can use it to create small holes in the attic wall, or you can use it down below if there is a roam on that first floor. It's very versatile, and that's not even talking about how important Candelas are, either down through that pillbox hatch, which Ying will open up herself, dislodging somebody playing inside a freezer, dislodging somebody playing in the closet, if you want to use them towards the front entrance of laundry, or throwing them in big window, throwing them in attic, and then using that to take up map control very quickly as your opponents cannot see where you're coming from. So a strong ban all the same for this Ying, and whether it's a counter ban or not, there's a lot of flexibility for that operator, and not having her means a very different game.
Especially against the mirror, and that's going to be the thing. Attack basement is going to be, if you win an attacking round on a basement defense, you're looking extremely good on Oregon because you're expected to win the tertiary bomb site attack almost every single time. Top floor of Kids Bunk, 50-50 out IQ. But basement, 80% in favor of defenders, I would say, like raw numbers wise. W7M, they have many ways they can play it. They choose with the Mira plus Kaid combination, and Brede from BDS, he answers nicely. The Maverick on the board kind of nullifies the Kaid clause effectiveness on the hatch, but it takes so long to open up the hatches, especially if you aggressively consistent from down below. So that's gonna burn 20-35 seconds or so off the clock for BDS just to open up the hatches as a base minimum, as a bare minimum. From execute operators, instead of the Ying, because it's banned out, it's a Lemge going to be on the Lion. It gives you this natural 3, 2, 1 countdown, which then you can execute off of. It ensures that everyone's on the same page very naturally. We see 9 flashbangs and 4 grenades being brought out from BDS. That's the only tools they're gonna have to brute force the way down this basement. Now, you're gonna attack front side or back side. We know as the observers, there are 2 mirror windows in the front. This has to be a backside execute.
Nade goes out by Shaiko, expecting somebody playing on that freezer mirror window, but nobody actively in that spot. Shaiko's nades have been quite poor in this series. It's a bit odd because he is used to playing these operators with nades, so you'd expect them to hit their mark. KZ goes down to a Lems, that's the very first pick, and boy, what a damning first loss for W7M. It's a smoke off the board with 50 seconds left. Herds will get very aggressive as the Kaid TCSG flattens out a Lems, but they answer back, and both these teams will actually be involved in this extensive fray. They're dying left, right, and center. W7M comes out looking worse for wear, though, as the advantage favors BDS. The execute, mere seconds away with 30 seconds on the clock. Batten down the hatches, and JV reads into a single pick, but these trades will give BDS an advantage every single time. Julio, the man that we spoke of, he's last one left, and he's isolated inside of Elbow. He's got 3 ways back to the bomb site. Instead, we'll go through box. There's the wall that's been opened up. Shaiko with diffuser. Brede will watch over it. This is a bit of a role reversal. Both these players from BDS are extremely good in clutches. Julio, C1, can't accomplish much. BDS from miles away, give BDS the very first round of Oregon.
And again, these basement attacker rounds, they will most likely be the difference between a successful Oregon victory and a failed one, because teams are expected to win that defensive round. So attackers taking it, it really is a big deal. I have to state that. Now, W7M, they played those two mirror windows front side, one small box, one freezer to hold and lock down that area. That means 1 or 2 members can hold the front, and then 3 or 4 members can hold the back. So BDS, they are knowingly attacking into the most amount of manpower, which means that BDS are trusting their gunfights to win. Whereas if you attack those mirror windows head on, you will only meet 1 or 2 actual enemy operators in the gunfights, but the mirror windows, in terms of utility, you have to deal with instead. BDS, they are known for their lethality within EOL, taking these like 4v4s and trading out in numbers advantage or evenly so, and you saw it. It began to a 3 versus 3, a 2 versus 2, but they get that 2 versus 1. That's where the round gets swayed in their favor, and it's once again, unfortunately, it's Julio in that 1v2. The supportive cast of W7M being put in these clutch positions when they're not necessarily players that are set up for it. They're gonna go back basement again. That's how strong his bomb site is.
Private conversation that we have with teams, and I'm sure you probably experienced this as well when you were playing, Nick, was it is a really depressing feeling to know that your support player will never win a 1vx.
Yeah.
It's
absolutely.
Jim is left in a 1v2? All right, well, let's set up next for next round. You know, you have no confidence that they're going to be able to pull it off. And honestly, rock solid support play in many ways does separate good from great. If you've got a team with a support player that can clutch, whether you leave them in unwinnable spots, whether it's in a post plan after they get diffuser down, their ability to get the same amount of kills and have the same mechanical ability that entry players have is just priceless. And I mean, it's easier said than done. There are only probably half a dozen support players that are in that upper echelon.
Absolutely.
But they tend to be on the teams that consistently make deep runs at these events. BDS is definitely one of them. Unfortunately for W7M, so far in this matchup, Julio cannot be in that conversation through these 3 maps that we've seen.
It's very well put, and I was going to say the same thing. The teams that we, funny enough, see at the highest level of play consistently, they do have that supportive cast that can show up in those clutch moments. BDS, of course, arguably one of the GOAT of supports when it comes to clutch ability and potential fragging power. He's had a rough year so far with instabilities and inconsistencies, but at this event he's really shown up.
Absolutely has. There's a nitro cell that does a lot of damage to Renshiro, but puzzlingly, I think it probably should have killed him. Explosions galore on these stairs. BDS, they're like a clown car, all coming out of the same door, and they're just getting gunned down by this fire from W7M. Alem's is last man standing with a minute left. What can he accomplish? If anything at all, nothing. Goodbye.
And that right there is how we expect a basement defense to turn out, more often than not. What you saw in the very first time of BDS, that is not supposed to happen. It makes perfect sense, again, for W7M to go back to that bomb site because it's just how defender favorite it is. But BDS, they got the job done already. They've won that single basement attack, which I will note down because with how close this series might go, that could really be the defining moment, and it happened in round number 1. Now, by winning the basement bomb site, W7M's job gets more and more difficult. Now you gotta go upstairs, 50-50 bomb site. If you win this one, you go Tertiary. That's where things get very slippy. It's almost a free win for attackers. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. The Frost on the board to deny jump-ins. The Amaru, perhaps, as we know the French teams like to run on occasion. Wolves do it, BDS do it. Oryx just running through walls saying, "Dunk." Curious to see if they're going to extend a big or small tower and deny that early entry point. So far, not the case. Relatively compact in the center of the map. Volps is roaming towards the big tower. He's going to barricade door, actually, surrendering big tower control to BDS immediately. And then 2 members going to extend small tower instead. So, there's 2 ways to attack this bomb site typically. You can go west over, which is small tower we see the members of W7M holding, or go big tower / master bedroom on the other side of the map. BDS have that choice to be made for them. but it looks like they want to challenge this downstairs hold.
Player to watch for BDS is going to be Shaiko. Didn't have a consistent second map, but we'll once again bring out that statistic, Nick, where Shaiko got multi-kills in 4 rounds, and they won every single one of those rounds. Outside of that, he was pretty ineffective. Often first casualty for BDS. If he can have a good game, well, that'll be huge. The rest of the team has lagged behind, though. We have not seen any real dazzling performance from EFAC. That is a bit surprising, given how he's played at this event. Renshiro had big moments on Cafe, and dare I say it, I actually think Renshiro was their best player on Cafe consistently.
I'll back that up for sure. Renshiro had a great year overall as well as an individual player, getting more freedom on the sledge roll and getting more done on the entry as well. I like the aggressive hold from W7M. The crossfire inside a closet and armory makes it very hard for any single member like Leagueifag to take control. He needs backup. BDS, they have to rotate, but they're so far away on the map.
There's the first casualty. Well, I don't know where he is, but EFAC dies early yet again. He's having a rough day. When he shows up, that 1-2 punch of him and Shaiko is hard to stop. But whether it's W7M shutting him down or just a off day, this is nowhere near the potent force that he's been. Has Shaiko even hit anybody with a grenade so far? Because there's another from below that misses its mark. Shaiko toying at the top of White Stairs. There's 2 kills for W7M to add to EFAC dying earlier on. Shaiko does get rid of Volps. Another nade goes in, and he misses out on the timing. It blows up, and W7M block BDS from getting into the bomb sites.
While the chaos happened on White Stairs, BD jumped into big window, right into a frost mat, and found himself injured on the ground. Bomb site relatively free. It looked like it at least, but what do you know? A bear mat stops you. Julio there to guarantee the kill, confirmed from that kid's bunk bomb site itself. BDS can't find the openings. Leagueifag on the master bedroom balcony, completely alone against 3 members of W7M. When he dies, it opens up the rotate. Those members in Armory, in the small closet and Armory stairs, they can fall back through Trophy back towards the bomb side. Then BDS no longer playing 4 versus 2 on the bomb side. They're playing 4 versus 5 at the bomb side instead, and that doesn't go their way. Tertiary bomb site, 2 options: kitchen dining or meeting kitchen. Meeting has the higher play rate. This is more of a stylistic difference, right? Meeting speaks towards big tower, whereas dining speaks towards small tower. They both have towers, various sizes, and you gotta attack them because it's a very important aspect of the map. And it's why we see Hertz up top in tier 3. So we call tier 1 is the first floor of tower, tier 2 is the second floor of tower, and tier 3 is all the way up on the catwalk rafters themselves. He'll play with the Asami. Almost like playing clubhouse rafters in garage. We can use those key barriers to isolate angles and just hold this area that BDS, they care about. They want to take the control, but they might not deem it worth it to attempt with him being there.
Now, would you believe that Oregon is the second least played map at this entire event? You want to talk about tertiary bomb sites? Let's talk about the meeting and kitchen. Has 11 plays. Kitchen and dining has 7 plays.
Yep.
And this bomb site, this meeting bomb site, is one of the statistical worst bomb sites for defenders in the entire 6 Invitational. And despite that, JV will swing the back door. The Doc is the bailiff, punishing Shaiko. BDS cannot recover. On this bomb site, 27% of the rounds that have been played have been won by the defenders.
Yep.
This is as lopsided as you can get. It's been played 11 times. The attackers have such a sizable advantage on what is a very defender-sided map. 58% of the rounds on Oregon won by the defense. Well, Hertz' team had done some damage early on. It takes 2 players from BDS just to eliminate that tier 3 player, the Azami. Whether you Kiba barriers, whether you were using your own ability, was holding press, was holding court, pressing BDS from above.
The numbers you just mentioned is why you need and you should win this attack as BDS. Otherwise, that basement bomb site attack you won earlier, well, it kind of evens out. You win the bomb site that you shouldn't, but lose the one that you should. You're back in that 1-3 scenario. But BDS, they should be 2-2 after this round, statistically speaking. Now, they got the biggest problem dealt with. That hurts. In tier 3, he's gone. Attic has control, can open up the side wall. This is how BDS can set up a plant. Especially because... Actually, no, there's no smokes.
Oh, Bride goes down. Efac trying to recover by stage. He barrels him. Down he goes. Still, there's been one player, W7M, gone. Another as well, Renshiro. He doesn't miss these shots, and he knows he's got another. Does some damage to Julio on the way out. Lems with diffuser in hand, getting the plant down. Safe behind sandbags. Julio needs to go through the front of meeting or even security. His team has barricaded everything. This is a 1 speed in Kaid. Julio will make a lot of noise.
He's back where he started.
All he did was run a circle.
Yeah.
Lems has been allowed to get into position now. He might go from the hatch above an attic.
Defenders have eyes on the diffuser. Attackers need to protect it.
Lems knows that he's nearby. There goes the nitro cell, and Lems makes it look so easy.
No.
BDS had an advantage. It was gone, then W7M had it. W7M had it for most.
Renshi made it look easy.
Yes, he did.
The instant drop down the hatch.
Oh, my apologies, Nick.
Yeah, no, you're excused, but don't give Lemsh all the credit. He got the easy job of 1v1 post plant with drone information. Renshi finds himself and his teammate in a 2 versus 4. He gets killed to bomb site against JV, and with 1 HP, drops the hatch, flicks the enemy on site, opens up the round for Lemsh to clutch. It's the openings and creating space that is the toughest job as an attacker in Rainbow Six Siege. And great job, Lemsh, you won the round, but that was expected. Once that diffuser is planted and you get comfortable above the bomb site or below it for that post-plant position, you as an attacker should be favored to win the round. And you said it, Parker, for you on Cafe was Renshi, the most consistent player from BDS, doing the best job, and then he shows up that same round here in Oregon. BDS, they get the 2-2 scoreline that they wanted, that they really should be getting because that Tertiary bomb site being so hard to defend. And this round, round number 5, the basement defense, 3rd time. Very important one. Either BDS guarantees 3 rounds on the half at worst, or they open themselves up for a possible 4th. Oregon, defender favored. Basement, very defender favored. We've seen both teams win this bomb site once.
Laundry supply room at 71% of all rounds won for the defense is just at a quick glance of all of these bomb sites. One of the most defender-sided bomb sites, well, the only one that I can really find with a substantial pick rate that actually beats it in terms of defender win rate is Cache CCTV on Clubhouse.
Yeah, with the 11 plays, so however many, right?
16 plays of Cache CCTV on Clubhouse. The least played bomb site, but it is the only bomb site in all of the 6 Invitational that has a more favorable win rate than this one. And keep in mind, that's the least picked bomb site on the map, whereas this is the most picked bomb site on the map. So it just goes to show you, when 7 out of every 10 times teams play on this bomb site, they are expected to win. I mean, you don't really need to dive too much into the statistics. Maybe we can talk about the why, but the numbers tell you that the defense should succeed.
Renshi, he shoots his 4 mid-air, he's gonna kill him. He stays alive.
That's the stuff. Renshi don't miss.
Never.
Not one bit.
Not in this match. BDS did a great job juggling the EMPs with the Kite Claw. Hurts team kills JV. Not in this round. That's not the time for it.
Whoever wins this round guarantees themselves, at minimum, a tie through the first half. They cannot lose. Given the way this first map went, and the way that I wanted to see the second map go, I have to suspect that, well, it might be a 3-3 half. Dorms opens up after this. If BDS prevails, W7M can go back downstairs to the basement. But hold on just a second. Teams will come to blows. Down goes Renshiro. BDS finds 2 kills. They've reduced W7M just to the smoke and the Malusi, and the smoke will get aggressive inside a freezer. Volps gets 1, looking for more. He waits for Julio to get that pick. A 2v2 with diffuser down, but he picks the wrong default plant spot. It's not in supply. It's inside a laundry. Volps gets that. An easy play around the corner. Efac has had a sluggish game so far. Can he return to form in this 1v2? Holding on to that F2. He'll have to pick his poison correctly. The smoke of Volps will isolate him and then hop on the diffuser, but EFAC can't get there. He engages with the Malusi, but loses the duel, and Volps has plenty of time. W7M in the clutch, in the post plant. They take their third round.
Very, very small detail, but Shaiko playing Freezer might have miscalculated his position. He was playing right here, so close against the shotgun, and I think he was thinking that BDS was planting on the opposite side of this wall, thinking that if he swings the hallway of Freezer itself, my planter dies. And if that was the case, Shaiko sacrificing himself for that really poor gunfight is worth it. But Bride was on the opposite side. He was completely safe from the Freezer holes. Shaiko arguably should have walked further back to devalue the shotgun in the 1v1, because Shaiko might be a great shot, but beating a shotgun point blank is almost an impossible task. You'd have to hit a first bullet headshot immediately off the rip. Otherwise, you just die. That's exactly what happened. The post plant from BDS not great. Bride obviously stuck in the corner because Shaiko died to Freezer. He also met the fate of the same shotgun. And W7M, they get the round that they statistically should have gotten, but it's very, very close.
I mean, when you're jiggle peeking that corner, as we saw all of these players doing, and then you full swing a corner and preemptively blast it with a shotgun at such close range. I know that there are jokes made about that SAS shotgun, with people saying if you believe in it, it believes in you.
It's true.
The more that you have faith in that shotgun, the more damage that it does. It's just a bit of cosmic magic.
No, it's absolutely true, because Kino's shotgun from
it's as real as astrology.
It does more damage than any other shotgun in the game.
As I said, it's as real as astrology, which is that it isn't real at all. But at that close range, there's no way you're missing. That's almost a guaranteed kill for any player, even those playing down at bronze. It's a long jump in. Amaru play from Alems, final round of this first half. BDS will move to the more favorable side, and I honestly think that's a story in and of itself. If BDS can triumph in this round, then it's a 3-3, and while that will be a level playing field, the field itself will tilt in BDS's favor.
Yep.
That's not where you want to be for W7M.
No. It certainly isn't where you want to be, but sometimes it's just where you find yourself. An engagement here could occur between Volps and Leakyfac. The benefit is the Nurk makes much less noise if moving around, whereas Volps might be stuck in the corner. He's between two members of BDS. They don't know. No drones nearby. Timing and decision making could make a big difference here. If he finds Shaiko or Leakyfac downstairs, it's a valuable kill.
Make some noise at the bottom of White Stairs. We're about to hit the halfway point of this round. Herds cannot be the first to die. You cannot let the smoke go out. One toxic canister has been used so far. Oh, nade goes in and dances around it. Volps with the lead-off pick.
Yep. Now BDS is looking for something else to happen. They got this 4v5 position. They got to claw it back. The Frostmats last time killed Bride on the jump in. Has to be cautious this time. It can't happen twice. Nate going wide from Benji, doesn't find any damage, but hurts. You said a partner can't die first, but he does just that. Shaiko finds him.
Different time, though. That was a minute ago, and some of those toxic canisters have already gone out. Alems deep inside of Attic. Those are those secondary hard breach gadgets that we were talking about earlier in the match. They don't necessarily allow the same entry that an exothermic charge does, but it still allows you that vision. And you can see long range. Nade gets tossed in, JV shuts down Shaiko, losing HP in the process. Now it's Julio to go down, support players having a rough time. Renshiro gets one, cannot secure the Frost, but KZ is left alive to stand against these two players from BDS. To tie the first half as the diffuser goes down, BDS look for the Frost, who plays around these bunks. Maybe draw them out. No information whatsoever for W7M. Creeping along the ground, BDS doesn't need to do much in this post plant. Just sit where you are. KZ sees Alems on the ground and then immediately rotates. Expecting one in trophy. How does he win the duel? Bride missing out on that final pick. And KZ has plenty of time to get to the diffuser yet again. W7M overcoming the hurdles in a post plant. The first half goes to the defense 4-2. And W7M will switch sides 3 rounds away from putting BDS down in the lower bracket.
It's a huge round from KC in a 1 versus 3, but 2 things. 4-2 for defenders is the expected scoreline for W7M. They had to fight so hard to get there. And secondly, I hate to point it out, but Elemj and BDS absolutely bottled that 1 versus 2. They had a perfect crossfire. Elemj and Chassis holding down the soft floor towards big window where KC was prone. And then for some reason, Elemj looks to his right towards the attic rotate, seemingly for no reason. At the same moment, KC swings. And then, I think it was BDS who were on Lion at the very end. He white swings the middle of the room, again thinking that the enemy wasn't where he was going to be coming from. So it seemed very obvious, to us at least, where KC was going to be. And he must have been making so much noise proning around the floor, but yet it seemed like BDS had absolutely zero idea where he was coming from. Doesn't matter though. KC, he takes the round.
10 seconds left before
BDS
insertion.
struggling in those dying seconds.
5
2
seconds
rounds
to
in a
insertion.
row. Now they go on defense. The favorable side.
Attackers' objective is to locate a
And
bomb
if things they
defuse it.
play out the way they should, we should be seeing OT on 3rd map.
I mean, look, BDS just don't seem like they have good intel. It's the same issue that W7M was suffering through in the previous map. It's all about information. W7M held BDS to that on Clubhouse, wasn't it? I think it was, we were deep into the second half of Clubhouse, all the way back in map number 1. And BDS only had 4 drones or something like that.
Yeah.
With 2 minutes to go. Why? Because there's a Solis on the board, and W7M are using that operator so successfully over the maps that we've seen so far. There hasn't been a Solis ban. And despite her being available, BDS do not often like bringing her into this lineup. They have their set ways. W7M does. They use and abuse the opportunity that Solis provides, and it hurts BDS, a team that relies a lot on coordination.
Yeah, one of the downsides to Shaiko being quote-unquote stuck on the alibi, his favorite operator in defense, is that it does allow BDS less flexibility in terms of operator choices. No EMPs being spent here. Julio playing it safe with 2 pellets at a time. Not sure where that second set went, and Julio also seemed confused as to what happened. But he gives it another go. 3rd set goes out. There is a kite on the board, of course, from Leaky Fact. Has those kite claws in pocket. So JV has to bounce out these EMPs together with Julio to successfully get open the most important hatch. That is this one. The meeting hatch leading to that small box down below. That is the most important hatch. Leaky Fact tries to juggle it. I think he's got it, actually. Oh, the third EMP.
They didn't expect the last EMP to go off. The juggle was correct.
Yeah.
And it would have made it. In fact, we might have been a microsecond, if that's even a
Very
real
close.
term, away from those X-Kairos being destroyed. And even if that EMP had disabled the electric claw, the job was still done at that point by BDS. Now it's going to be a dry push from W7M. They're going to have to push into blue and go down back tower stairs with no real assist whatsoever. BDS prepared for it. Shaiko's stats right now not where they need to be, and he could go even deeper into the negatives. He escapes underneath the stairs. 1 player from W7M lording over him. Toxic canisters go out. 30 seconds left. Brede still has 1 in pocket, so there's more gas to cover the entrance for W7M to break through blue. Volt's killed number 1, and Elemz takes him down. BDS suddenly on the board in fine fashion. Elemz with 2 kills. Shaiko down for the count.
15 seconds remaining.
A pause now. W7M in the bomb site. Lem still doing what he knows best, playing around pillar. It's Herds as the last player for W7M in the bomb site. Sees the Warden, but Alems gets a 4K. BDS start off their defense with a victory.
Yeah, and again, it looks like such a good start for the attackers. The moment you get to that pain point of pillar, it can just turn so quickly into defender's favor. The timing on the scenario, Lem, she swings at the right moment. Shaiko helped him out, held his cross from that blue door entry point. Last but BDS, that elbow shield holds down the fort. And W7, they cannot get in. No Flores, no Ying available. That basement stronghold is so hard to break. Now we know W7 can play the glass because they showed it to us on Clubhouse, and they even tried to show it on Cafe. Oregon basement could be an option for that same particular operator, but we won't see that being played out for the next 2 rounds. Second bomb set upstairs. If BDS come out victorious, we're gonna have to see that tertiary bomb site, which will then define who gets the round lead. Right now, W7M, they got it, 4-3. Operator lineup-wise, not flexing too much, staying with the single hot breach, soft destruction. The Nomad actually coming out to maybe contain BDS's aggression now. Once you take a certain map into your side, you can maintain that control. Keep BDS from moving up and aggressing on those front lines. Early aggression from BDS to shut down any drones, entry points, etc. They've only really found, there we go, one more drone. 2 drones on the board for BDS. But without the Solis, it can be hard to find them. There are so many points of elevation on Oregon, shelves, things you can hide your drones under.
Reloading ammo.
League Effect doing his very best to find them.
Oh,
good night.
Boy. EFAC 4-7, Shaiko 6-6. These are the 2 players who are supposed to be taking over this matchup. It's an easy assessment to say, oh, they're having a bad day. But they're having a bad day against one of the best teams that we've seen all year. At some point, you have to give credit where credit is due. I think it's time that we do that in this matchup. It's not that they've been having a bad day. It's that W7M have been the better team. And in these engagements, if you can go toe-to-toe with Shaiko, if you can go toe-to-toe with EFAC, if you can go toe-to-toe with Renshiro, then you're gonna be in great shape against this team. Because Alems and Brede cannot do the rest of the work. Brede in particular is put in so many unwinnable situations. The fact that he's able to win in a lot of them is incredible, but it's not sustainable. And when you start to play against all of these tougher opponents, which W7M definitely is, eventually that streak is going to break, and you're going to start losing your 1vx's, as we have seen happen from Team BDS, as happens to Julio when Julio's in that same position. And look at that. Alems tries to retake main lobby by the door. He gets shut down. BDS greeting the players at W7M, but Renshiro needs to watch from bedroom door and topple whites. Poor prioritization. He gets smacked from the side. W7M 3 unanswered kills. They pick up a 4th kill after Shaiko gets on the board, and Shaiko will need to clutch out. He can't do it. W7M 5-3.
The playstyle choice for W7M looks a lot more like Clubhouse. They do that early fish. They get the opening kill into League Effect inside a classroom because of good drone work or guesswork, and then they just slow things down. They don't give BDS any actual gunfights until they opened up every door, window, and wall within sight. And we saw it, 2 members from BDS, they die with their back turned. There are so many different places that they can come from. And you said it, Parker, wrong prioritization, but it's so hard to make the right choice without any information. Valkyrie is banned by W7M. BDS, they're playing purely off game sound and callouts and what they see with the eyes of the characters that they're playing on the map. And because BDS are stuck playing relatively close to the bomb site, they don't know where the entry points are going to be for W7M. They didn't know there was 1 member or 3 members in Master Bedroom Balcony, just like they had no idea there was a guy downstairs inside a lobby early on, and there just are. W7M's drone work great so far. They lost 2 drones early previously. They lost 2 drones rather in this prep phase as well. So same count, same info available to them. Renshi now going for the Maestro, picking up some more information. Bulletproof camera also on the board for BDS, being picked up by League Effect. Casey and the Armorer can fly in tier 3, take that in control immediately, thanks to a drone being pre-placed here. They know it's clear. Casey is in the basement, sorry, Hurts in the basement as well. So 2-man job taking tower control within 20 seconds.
Very fast for W7M. They have shown confidence on all of these maps so far. Round dependent, of course. But if you think you've got the drop on your opponent, you get drones in, go for it. W7M have not had the same stumbles to keep their drones alive as we have seen from BDS. BDS still not adopting this Solis on Oregon. I guess not wanting the new operator as a part of their kit.
Yeah, it's an operator that only some teams have been picking up. I think Eminem from Europe, they play Solis every chance they can pretty much, and they've not defined the meta of Solis, but I think that Eminem has like shown us just how much damage the operator can do. BDS yet to really effectively play it, and I think right now against W7M, it could be a massive advantage if they picked up the operator to deny this information, because again, there are 8 drones alive.
KZ in the back of Attic, or at least on that wall, very similar to what we saw out of, was it a Lems do the same thing when BDS took back Tower. If you're trying to strike at the heart of this dorm's bomb site, you're going to do so by opening up that attic wall. No different than a lot of teams will need to do, even if it's a downstairs defense, because while attic itself is not close to the bomb site, you still want to take control of dorms. Is that an impact that just went off in front of the face of Hertz?
Yeah, Renji tried to deny the thermite breach from the fan below. He missed it.
BDS on the board first. KZ answers back. Shaiko removed. Another kill for W7M that gets Shaiko immediately.
Gemini.
Minutes ago, but KC so close to side, has full attic control. They know this. They can make a play on trophy door. Not yet.
He can taste it. Asuria Gate still sparking away. You'll need something to throw through if you don't want to take any damage when it gets reactivated. KZ inside of attic. They know this. He's creeping up to the dorm's bomb site. They do know now because they see the bullets at the wall right next to them. He'll assess whether or not that his game section is free. It is. Down go the ADSs. W7M get on the site, and they get 2 kills for it. Breed A trying his best, but BDS are behind. A 2v2 with Julio getting the diffuser down. It will become a 3v3 when he hops off of it. EFAC struggling. BDS have had some troubles as to where they want to go in this bomb site. It's EFAC alive upstairs while they expect Breed A to retake, and he absolutely flattens Hertz. JV using that area opened up in the back of attic earlier on by KZ to his advantage. And on the diffuser they will go, but EFAC sees him and shuts him down. No match point for W7M. BDS keeps it close. They trail by 1 round.
Really good retake for BDS, but a concerning 3 versus 3. They had the red ping from the Meister bubble on the bomb side, but no one went below to deny the plant going down in the first place. JV did not choose correctly for his post-plant position. Even if he got past this door from attic, he can't even kill the diffuser in time, or the counter diffuser in time, because he's behind the wall. So JV not in the right place, not in the right position. They lose because of it. W7M, they got in really aggressively, really quickly. KC with the entries time and time again. But the plant not really following up quick enough, I would argue. BDS, they save themselves from not falling to that match point scoreline. They get another jab at basement. The most defendable bomb site on this map. Pretty much across the entire tournament, across all maps and bomb sites. For how often it's played. Mirror being brought out this time. Wasn't the previous. No kite trick to free up the operators. Shaiko go from Alibi onto Legion as well. The Ghoul Mines have to stop. A hatch drop, a walk it. Yeah, there we go, the hatch drops. BDS are expecting a backside attack, so the mirror windows likely going to be to the front side, just like W7M. The manpower mostly being put towards the back, so you can hold utility with one side, manpower on the other. Now it's up to W7M to see, okay, do we want to deal with the mirror windows, or do we want to deal with 4 guns pointed in our direction? There's going to be 0 roam presence, I believe, from BDS, so the map can just be picked apart in 20 seconds. Of course, at this level of play, you have to drone out every corner because if somebody's hiding upstairs, a flank occurring later in the round could be the round over. But they're making quick work of it. 30 seconds, and they got almost full map control.
Got a feel for BDS. If they win on this bomb site, they have to go to that tertiary bomb site.
Yes. Yeah.
In terms of those win rates, again, we will look at the 2nd least played map. Goodness. 76 rounds played on Oregon prior to this map beginning. 58 of the 76 rounds played on just laundry and dorms. That is staggering. That leaves just 18 plays between meeting hall, kitchen, and kitchen dining. So again, really hard to glean a lot of information from that. 27% of the rounds on meeting hall and kitchen are won by the defense. That's terrible if you're BDS.
Yeah.
Kitchen dining, though, the opposite way. Tied with laundry supply room at 71% of rounds, but again, only played 7 times. X-Kairos being torn away at as they go onto the pill wall. BDS stopping that hard destruction from working successfully.
Yeah. Step 1 is done. That is, of course, the ramp map clear. Step 2 on the way. That's going to be the setup where W7M will strike and what they think they need to achieve that goal. Step 3 will then be that chaotic execute where the gunfights will determine the outcome of the round.
Renshiro guarding the back stairs. He's on a collision course with at least one player that's an aid in hand. Looked like it went out, but Shaiko might have stopped it. Shaiko now over by blue. He's got the very first pick on the round. Down is Volps. Lems will go. Shaiko follows. Lems can be recovered, though. But BDS pick up yet another kill. It's dropped W7M just now down to JV as Herds hits the ground. One player left. Team BDS have this tie in their clutches, and they're going to get it. JV actually downed one of his own players, so sloppiness from W7M. As you predicted, we might need overtime here. We're going to need all 12 rounds first. Let's get that out of the way. See if anything changes, because as was noted, BDS will now go to the tertiary bomb site. Which one will it be?
Showing that meeting hall kitchen so far. So, again, the meeting and kitchen dining, they play out in a similar way. You care about the tower that's closest to it. Big tower for this bomb site in particular. Commonly, teams on attack just take big tower, open up the stage wall, take added control that you see right now from League Effect where the rotate is. And when BDS attacked this bomb site, they did the exact same thing. Big tower, into attic, meeting breach, in, get the plant. Lems won that 1 versus 1 against Julio. It was Renshi with the drop getting 2 kills. Now, you don't have to go for the big tower attack. It is just by far the most common and arguably the simplest and easiest one to go for. The Nomad from Julio, again, the second time Nomad sees play. If W7M can take map control, they can help keep it on their side. Nomad does speak to a big tower attack, but we'll see what they have to do here. Spawning on various positions, 3 members of lobby door. Spawn peek from Renshi. When it matters the most, gets shot down.
Oh, you're already playing a bomb site that so heavily favors the attackers, and you on Warden have just given them a gigantic advantage. Only saving grace of that is that there are no smokes and not really many flashbangs on the board for W7M. I mean, there's no anti-gadget to catch these flashbangs. Well, Maya's banned and Jaeger is not on the board, so maybe the Warden pick might actually be more consequential than we thought. Because Volps and Julio combined have 6 flashbangs, and there's no denial from the defenders to eat that up.
On the other hand, if Renshi had gotten the kill and not died, the value he would have gotten would be incredible. Either take out the soft breach, the grenades, or the hot breach in the round. That's huge value to be had. BDS playing from behind now. They're familiar with this position because W7M keep getting open and kill after open and kill. They're gonna attack this top floor hole from BDS. And League Effect, tough decision. Do you stick around and fight it out or fall back and stay alive?
No way, Lems just watched that blow up, and there's 2 players there. Catch right into his lap. A beautifully tossed nade by Herds, bouncing off the door frame. BDS have suffered 2 blows.
You gotta fight now.
You absolutely have to, and EFAC decides to go for the big window. Pete gets it onto Volps. Worried about being pressured from dorms. There goes entrance for W7M. Kiba barrier will shut them down. Bride dealing some damage to Herds. This will just be simply a reflex test. Bride looks away at the last second. W7M with the 2 picks. This is their round, Nick. Shaiko 9-9. A mere mortal. Best player at the event so far, and W7M have kept him at bay. 4 players to go. I could see Shaiko pulling off a 1v2, but a 1v4 against a team like this, W7M are too coordinated, and they read into Shaiko's position down below. W7M look to continue their run in the upper bracket, and they have just secured themselves series point.
LM's being picked off with this grenade right here, a round-defining moment. It leaves League Effect above alone. He aggresses forward, gets a nice pick. Then W7 they slow things down. They have 4 members on the master bedroom side, and they wait for the rotation from Bride, and they win their 2 individual 1v1s to take that round. BDS timeout. They gotta figure things out right now.
Maintenant, on va juste réfléchir à ce qu'on va faire sur le prochain round. Ok? La défense top, c'est trop dur. On est nul sur la défense top. Pour moi, défense kitchen de la ligue, jamais fait. Vu comment il dorme, on fait perdre du temps avec Chico, on redescend, on joue les escales. Si vous le sentez pas, on fait la défense top comme t'as dit.
Mais là, pour moi, en fait, pour moi, la défense top, faut juste qu'on s'enferme kitchen.
Ouais, mais moi j'avoue que c'était beaucoup de résistance.
Non, mais en vrai, une nouvelle défense et tout, vas-y, go.
Et en plus, elle est adaptée, hein. Tu vois ce que je veux dire? Elle est juste nulle s'ils font full small.
Focus, focus, on y croit.
So, I'm pretty sure what I get from that is actually they're discussing what bomb site to go to. Kitchen was mentioned a handful of times, they're picking Kitchen as well. And I think if you're having that tactical timeout, it makes perfect sense because it doesn't matter about your long-term plan of operators, of playstyle, one-off strat, etc. What matters right now is getting to overtime. That is this next upcoming round. Now, BDS, they are in this position where they won a kids defense into a basement defense and then a lost meeting. That means that the kids defense bomb site is open once more, so that every single option open besides the basement bomb site. It's important to note because amongst those three options, they specifically went with the dining option instead. So this plays around the small tower, you're still holding upstairs as before, but it gives you a little bit more back control on the back side of the map because you can outplay inside of dining, you can play small tower. The bomb site of kitchen is not the center the same way anymore because meeting hatch takes over that entire bomb site. And you can of course see here from Elemj, play inside a small tower as well early on, slow down W7M's entry points, and make the top floor hold a little bit easier. Volps answers back though, Amaru quickly inside a big tower again, taking this quick map, or part of the map for W7M. He has no can opener, cannot get the attic wall open up though. He's met by two reinforced walls, has to go down the staircase and go through that hallway in towards kitchen instead. Or go basement. Can come up a hatch.
Gutsy play. Amaru being brought out. We've seen this is what, the third Amaru so far on Oregon?
Yeah.
Again, for good reason. If your team is coordinated enough and can distract enough, then Amaru is extremely valuable, and here we go. Volps will go up, and Brede says no thank you, but the rest of W7M want to sweep their way into this bomb site, and it's a Nook who flies under the radar to get the next pick. W7M eliminate Renshiro now. BDS fallen by 2, but they keep it close. Shaiko's still in the fray. He's good enough for 1 kill most rounds, and he's already got it. Now it's EFAC to drop Herds. The timeout seemingly working. W7M's pace a bit too quick, and not enough practice. What do they say? Measure twice, cut once? Well, it seems like they tried to cut without measuring at all. KZ picks up his leading 16th kill. We said in the in-between before rounds here, having people like KZ and Herds show up is enormous, and KZ has certainly done his part for this team, but he's running into too many obstacles. Shaiko gets 2 kills, and we've got overtime between these squads.
Something very underrated in that round that might have gone unnoticed. Elemj, he had arguably the most difficult decision to make of this entire best of 3. His teammates are dying on the bomb side, and he thinks there might be a person outside a small tower holding him stuck. If Elemj were to go back to the bomb side to help his team not fall apart, he would have died for absolutely free. But he stuck around for 40 seconds straight, while losing bomb site control, trusting his 2 remaining team members to claw it back. And because of it, he was keeping one member of W7M stuck outside the small tower, doing nothing to help his team maintain that control. Elemj making the right choice for his team. BDS, they claw it back. And we are indeed entering overtime. It's 6-6. BDS, they start on defense, and W7M start on attack.
Just as BDS took their time out in the previous round, it allows both teams to speak to their coach. How about back-to-back timeouts?
Yeah, that doesn't happen very often.
Does not.
It's not as close to a map end as this. So now, the objective is to talk long-term, well, relatively long-term, 3 rounds. Last time out was simply just to try and break overtime for BDS, and simply for W7M to prevent that from happening. Now, both teams can talk about, okay, what do the next 2 to 3 rounds look like instead? BDS seemingly unhappy with how much time they had to pick after that timeout was...
I'm assuming the timeout was probably taken late, which left like 1 or 2 seconds on the clock.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's going to be A change?
Yeah, it might be a rehost, given how close the series is. Yeah, we're gonna go for a rehost. To maintain competitive integrity, seeing as nothing has been revealed for either team, we're gonna ensure that this 6-6 overtime gets played out to its fullest. Both teams will have enough time to pick because, of course, attackers, they have attack a repick. They won't be hurt by this, but defenders don't have that luxury, so whatever operators that BDS got, they're stuck with.
That's correct. So BDS cannot swap off of that. Once you're in as a defender, you are in.
Locked and loaded.
Well, maybe you're locked. You might not be loaded. Depends on who BDS picked.
Didn't look all too shabby for them, but of course we know that Shaiko in particular, there's certain operators that he does not prefer, I'm gonna say, to play, and he might have found himself off the alibi of the Legion thinking, I actually didn't want this operator, so we'll be back in just a moment. Of course, during this technical timeout for the rehost, the coaches cannot talk to their players, and by the looks of it, the players themselves aren't talking either, so they just had 60 seconds to discuss the future of the rounds and what they want to accomplish. Now they can think on it, prepare themselves mentally. An overtime scenario is essentially a best of 3 in terms of rounds, and you just gotta reset. It's like playing from 0-0. Nothing's happened. The clutches, the close rounds, the plans, the failures, the successes, none of that matters. It's just like starting over on a very short best of 3 Oregon.
What an exciting day of matches it's been.
Yeah, I mean, stage 2 of Invitationals, it's getting closer and closer. Seeing OT now in 2 out of 3 maps. And yeah, it was a one-sided cafe, but a lot of rounds even, despite there being a 7-2 scoreline for BDS, were close in itself.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
I don't remember the lineup that BDS brought. I think it was Shotgun Asami that was a different operator last time, but I honestly, don't quote me on it. It looks relatively similar. I saw the ward in the mirror, and I think I saw the smoke, but I don't know.
One thing we don't know is we don't know if the team directly called for a rehost. It is very challenging to memorize all 10 operators within the span of 5 seconds. I mean, it's doable, and there are people with very sharp minds, especially those who remember things visually, that will probably have no problem at all remembering all of them. But for you and I, when we're trying to do mid-round stats, taking notes on bomb site, players, numbers, etc., stats, graphs, and percentages, it can be a mighty challenge. So whether BDS is running with the same lineup or not, they got the rehost that they had sort of asked for. We, again, don't know if there was a genuine request or not.
Just a bit of confusion, but yeah, we are here now in a really quick, aggressive map control for W7M. They haven't slowed down at all. KC probably not going to extend too far down the staircase because you want to trade at least. Volb's making his way over. Remember, W7M, they want to breach open all the hatches before taking any unnecessary gunfights.
Hold on a second. Look at how close KZ is. 40 seconds into the round, he's already on freezer stairs. He's got the opening that was created next to the black mirror, and he can see yet another mirror window. He'll go on to drone himself in. W7M still have plenty of those gadgets available for them to gain information. KZ shrugs off a little bit of damage. Alems decides to engage from over towards freezer. He can rotate back to the small opening that's created in the wall, that sight line, leading from the freezer wall deep to the freezer stairs.
The last 2 rounds, BDS defended this bomb site. W7M attacked the back, and it did not work out for them. And it's the same scenario. Mirror windows covering the front, the guns favoring the back. Shaiko on the Asami this time can cut off lines of sight, keep himself in range. He was safe in this pillar position. Lemj, he's the middleman in the hallway. But it's W7M who has to strike first.
I like that play on the Azami to get the Kiba barrier up. Block a sight from box upstairs. And that hatch by stage into blue. Just a little bit of added protection. And if W7M don't want to attack blue, which is entirely possible, they decide to opt out of it, then that's going to be a very strong spot, a powerful position for somebody like Shaiko to play off of. Hey, KZ abandoned freezer will go towards the hatch that looks to be over top of freezer.
Gonna pop that line, drop the hatch, take the fights, but no one's really there from BDS. It's timing based. I have to set it up.
Volb's at the bottom of main stairs.
Once the backside makes moves, the front side goes.
There's the nade that goes off, and the barbed wire should be opened up. Hertz chooses the left. There was one on the pillar to the right. Now it's KZ to get in on the action. BDS bleeding out. They've lost 2 of their best players. The third will go down as well. Fourth, it's Renshiro on back tower stairs, but oh, he goes on to Cam. I'm assuming that's by accident. He has Diffuser down, so they'll need to retrieve it. But the problem is most of them are in the same spot. Surrendering Diffuser at the top of these stairs. Renshi knows that they will go for Diffuser and then head back in the same direction. He needs to stop them, but he's missed out. Renshiro thought he had information. He'll drop, and JV is there for insurance. He ensures that there's nobody from BDS into the bomb site. W7M moves back to series point.
Good adaptation from W7M. A very small thing, just Casey dropping that freezer hatch, stabbing him in the back. Renshi playing smart, going up that tower staircase, gets Diffuser carrier down, but in a 1v3 with 30 seconds to go, you can't necessarily hold it alone. Well, there was no help to be found. BDS now are in the toughest position imaginable. They go defense first, which is favorable. They lose their basement defense, and now they go straight into having to attack that very same bomb site that heavily favors the defending team. Operator-wise, keep an eye out for the next 25 seconds. They could attack a repick into something like a side execute operator, whether it be the Osa, the Glass, the Monty. The Ying is banned, which BDS chose. I'm sure they wish they had available to them right now because they got the same problem. These mirror windows being brought every single round, and neither team wants to deal with it. It's simply just too difficult. BDS will stick that same lineup. The Maverick in case of the Kaid, the nades, the flashbangs, but it comes down to the synergy and the gunfights and trading out in favorable numbers to win this round.
Just looking at these stats that we've seen played through the 13 rounds of live action. Defenders won their rounds 4-2. That round being won on attack by W7M has now made this Oregon an attacker-sided Oregon.
There it is.
The best it could finish at is 50-50, if, of course, W7M wins here.
Oh, he shot his teammate's drone. That means he can't go down just yet. Doesn't want to risk it. Not a huge loss, of course, but it slows down the attack by about 10 seconds. There we go. Drone follows down, clears the path. Leak Effect takes the default cam, and now they have freezer control. That's step number 1.
Oh my. Down on his back. That was Herds, I believe, inside a freezer. With his foot sticking out and clearly visible, EFAC was about an inch away from being able to get this leadoff pick. Freezer will be the main focus for BDS for the next little while. Shaiko is posted up there. Hatch will get opened up over top of E-Box.
This is very likely going to boil down to a 5v5.
Or so we think.
Or so we think. That's the Maverick job. It's not pretty, but you got to do it. In this round, it's likely going to boil down to a 5v5 with 30 seconds left. I mean, BDS in the same position. They can go for a Fuser hatch drop, try and flank somewhere on the map, but all they have to do is try and find picks, and W7M, they are known to just sit back and not give them an inch on the map.
Shaiko throws a nade up again. It doesn't hit anything. I don't think Shaiko's nades have been successful in any single instance so far in this series. He's used both of them now. Thrown in desperation towards that Black Mira. A lower bracket run is what's on the menu for BDS. If they do not defeat W7M on this round and then the next, they know the odds. We don't need to remind you of it. Look at Volps amidst the flashes. He gets one and scatters. Caught by BDS. Shaiko in a 1v4. W7M looking to punch the major winners down into the lower bracket. It's the man of the hour, the best player at the 6 Invitational, to save his team inside a freezer and hope for an upper bracket run. They know exactly where he is. He's trapped, and they'll ice him. W7M, a massive victory over BDS. The French squad will fight now through the lower bracket.
What a story it's been for W7M. Came seemingly out of nowhere domestically to the international ground, defining the meta on some of the maps like Chalet, and now taking down BDS in this best of 3 series. You might have known them 9 months ago, you know them now.
What a triumph for the Brazilian squad. The region of Brazil has had Not quite the results that I think they wanted so far. Both FaZe and Liquid have put on some disappointing performances, but lost one. W7M, they're here to play.
Oh,
Igor giving a motivational speech to the rest of the team, and hugs abound.
GG's indeed. It was a good series.
Always amuses me to see the Brazilian players in shorts. I get it, but it's freezing cold.
Respect's being paid as well to the cafe.